no question that these incidents, brings the level of intensity and the tension in the law enforcement community to a higher point.
Hello.
So one other
I didn't
question
even start
for you,
it the way I wanted to, but we've
just to
got
clarify,
breaking news
the
on the
Prairie
ICE
Detention
facility
Center,
in Dallas.
which was the site
I
of an
came
attack
live
on July
early.
4th down in Johnson County in
Hold
Alvarado,
on.
which is again
Hold
in North
on.
Texas. We know that just
Or
this
hoard
week
on. I
the
don't know.
defendants were
You could do
facing
that too.
terrorism-related charges due to that alleged pre-planned ambush of that ICE facility. What kind of charges could we be looking at here for a potential active shooter type situation?
Well, assuming that the individual is still alive, I would say that you're probably going to have to, law enforcement is going to have to identify and find out what the motive behind this was. Was this part of a coerced attack with other people being involved? Were there other people helping this person?
Hold on, let me find what's live. The King of Spain is speaking right now, so. The King of Spain is speaking on the plane. Dang me, dang me. Ooh. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, Grace Lisa. Hola. ¿Cómo está? Está bien. Está bien. I thought I'd come live early because I thought I had a live feed from the ICE situation in Dallas, but perhaps I don't. This is live. Okay. Hold on. Oh, the suspect is deceased. So, good morning. That's not what I wanted to. They have. Oh, there's no sound. Not helpful. That's not helpful. That's not helpful. Come home and file. Oh, I definitely want to watch that. Well, I guess it's not happening. I guess. Wow. All right, well, I guess I was wrong. Good morning, Mr. Spock. How are you? What's happening in Dallas? Okay, let me play this one for you. Hold on.
Now going to be considered part of this crime scene, right? And so that's the thing that's really frustrating here is those people that think that they are the exception.
Fox
so that's
News.
what's happening on that southbound side. I haven't seen anything on the
Three shot
northbound
at
side
Dallas
get through,
ICE
so that
facility.
seems to be more
Suspect
secured.
dead.
And this is where all the traffic is detoured off the highway here at Inwood Road for the moment. Though it does appear as you watch this shot that they are getting ready to potentially move the closure from this point on up toward the Highway 183 split in this area here, where you can see the detour and the traffic flow moving just onto 183 specifically. So when you look at that split, the right fork would take you up into
Trump
that crime scene area,
escalator?
but obviously that's all closed off and everybody
Hi, Neil.
is
Good
doing what they're
morning.
supposed to do here, at least at this
I'll
juncture
show you.
in
Hold
that
on.
immediate area. So please, again, continue to avoid this area, and it's going to be a closure for several hours. Just a quick note on traffic as far as Denton County is concerned. Up in the Louisville Lake Bridge area, there's been a recent wreck southbound. Just wanted to kind of throw that out real quick. And obviously the roadways are slick. Be careful if you do have to get out.
Okay, well, we have that headline, so. I'm not sure of the circumstances of what happened. Oh, shoot. Wait. I'm not sure of the circumstances of what might have happened, but I'll try and pick up the details of that as we go along. But this is the escalator mishap, or were the escalator people having some fun with him? Maybe, I don't know.
Are you going to push Zelensky for peace, President Trump?
All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen. But she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the two things I got from the United Nations: a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter.
I think he's slurring.
I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble.
Ha ha ha. They think he's joking. They think he's joking. He's not joking. He's disgusting, is what he is. Okay, let me see. What else do I got here? Well, this is the story from this morning. So let me just play this little bit so that we get, because I see Zelensky has not begun his speech yet, which is what I'm really waiting for. So.
They have is to protect citizens at all times. And so we're sitting down across the table oftentimes discussing or having discussions about how to beef up security, but there's only so much that can be done with limited budgets, with limited manpower.
Limited budgets?
And so the bottom line here is they're trying to do the best that they can.
You got the biggest budget in the fucking world.
That these incidents, brings the level of intensity and the tension in the law enforcement community to a higher point.
Wow,
so
really?
One other question for you, just to clarify.
Someone in their entourage
detention center, which
accidentally dropped the emergency
site of an attack on July 4th down in Johnson County in Alvarado, which is again in North Texas. We know that just this week that the defendants were facing terrorism-related charges due to that alleged pre-planned ambush of that ICE facility. What kind of charges could we be looking at here for a potential active shooter type situation?
Well, assuming that the individual is still alive, I would say that you're probably
he's
going to have to,
they
law
are
enforcement is
deceased,
going
I
to have
should
to
say.
identify and find out what the motive behind this was. Was this part of a coerced attack with other people being involved? Were there other people helping this person out? Was this an ideological issue versus a personal issue? All of those things have to be ruled out. But assuming that the suspect will still be alive, I would say to you that all of those factors are going to govern the prosecutor as to what charges are going to be brought up. But, time will tell.
Well,
another incident that we want to kind of bring back up just to get some context here. Back in August, the Dallas field office was threatened with a bomb threat that we're just wondering, we're talking about threats in this case, this continues to happen. How is this possible? A bomb threat there, they're showing up with guns and snipers and things like that. What is the overall response to these things that continue to happen?
The White House was in charge of Trump's teleprompter?
Well, first of all, there's very, sadly enough, there's very little
They're
that
in
we
big
can do to
trouble.
prevent those instances from taking place. But secondly, what I can tell you is that there are protocols and then protocols, right? So in the law enforcement community,
that's what happens when you hire dumb chuds.
Quickly. And in our job, those of us that work with law enforcement in the criminological sense, we actually help them understand what possible threats there are. So we have to.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't listen to that anymore, and it might just be because my body is wrecked and my brain is rattled. I'm sure that's why. But I'm telling you, we cannot do the violence thing. Like, fuck, man. Just stop killing people. I don't care. I mean, I'm so mad at ICE. I would love to punch somebody in the face. But I'm not going to, because I'm not that way. And I understand that when you take the point where you're going to pick up a gun and go and actually kill people, there's a lot going on in your brain and emotions that I won't begin to understand. And I do believe that it's because people are, oh shit, yeah, sorry, thank you. I didn't even know. Well, there you go. The show has a little bit of a background track, I guess, but I'm so sorry. That's so annoying. Oh, there it is. Shh. Sorry about that. Thank you for telling me. Thank you so much, Grace Lisa. I appreciate it. His press office is responsible for all communications equipment he uses, apparently. Well, that would make sense. Does that mean Caroline is out of a job? No, I guess not. She's probably not the one in charge of it. But violence is not the answer. And we stop ourselves from that because violence is not the answer. Misophonia. I appreciate that very much. I can't even hear the music. That's the problem. I haven't figured out how to route it so that I hear it and you hear it. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, the point is that the violence is not going to solve the problem that we have. Now, I also believe that there will be times when protesters scuffle with authorities. That's not the kind of violence I'm talking about. That happens. And quite frankly, the times that I have been out there of late, that has been instigated by the police. The violence has been instigated by the police. I'm telling you right now, there's not been a situation where people have thrown things in such a way and the types of projectiles that are going to do damage to these folks or near them, frankly. So I'm not buying it. The cops are the violent ones. So that being said, I'm just not at the, I think when you're at the point when you want to take someone's life, there's a lot going on for you that is far more than just, I'm very upset about the government and the illegal actions that they're taking. Comedy will. Yeah, comedy will. Yeah, I don't know about that. But I think that, violence is just never the answer. And so it's not, you don't go and shoot people up. That's not the point. That's what they do. They come in and take people out of their homes forcibly and wreck families. So, but I don't know. I can't handle that story right this morning. I'm in a lot of pain because of my arthritis over the last few days. I may not look like I have really bad arthritis, but let me tell you, I have really bad arthritis. Like, it's not just, when the weather changes, my bones get a little achy. No, my friend. I live with constant pain, and recently my pain has increased significantly because I don't have access to my medicine right now, and I have to get some blood work and then get reapproved for my medicine. So I'm waiting a couple weeks until I get it. So anyway, I know it doesn't look like, but physical activity really wrecks my body. Like, that's why I have to rest after protesting, even though for normal people or people that are pretty healthy, that would be fine and it wouldn't really phase you. It fucking knocks me out. It knocks my body out. So anyway, sorry about that, but it's like I'm living with a lot of pain right now in my shoulder, and it's really bad. Well, mine's an autoimmune response. So mine's more than just like a surface. It's an inflammation. Oh, okay, wait. Zelensky's speaking. Hold on. I stopped him. Stop, Zelensky. Hold on. Whoa. Na 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 na. Be a minute or so behind. Oh, wait, hold on. Anyway, sorry for the big explanation, but it's on my mind today because my shoulder is killing me. So that's where I'm at. All right, let me see if I can get to the beginning. He just stood up there, so I should be okay. Great. Announced. All right.
President of Ukraine.
Here we go.
I request protocol
I use a lot
to
of
escort His
weed.
Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
Yes.
Madam Chair, Deputy Secretary. Dear leaders, dear friends, and all those who can become our friends, because you want safety and peace just as much as we do. Today, no one but ourselves can guarantee security. Only strong alliances, only strong partners, and only our own weapons. The 21st century isn't much different from the past. If a nation wants peace, it still has to work on weapons. It's sick, but that's the reality, not international law, not cooperation. Weapons decide who survives. Excellencies, you know perfectly well international law doesn't work fully unless you have powerful friends who are truly willing to stand up for it. And even that doesn't work without weapons. It's terrible, but without it, things would be even worse. There are no security guarantees except friends and weapons. No Ukrainian choice this kind of reality. And knowing our people, they would have chosen a different priority. Ukrainians are peaceful people, but they are people who want to live freely in their own independent country. That's why we invest in defense. For many nations, there is simply no other way left. Nations can speak about their pain from stages like this, but even during bloodshed, there isn't a single international institution that can truly stop it. That's how weak these institutions have become. What can Sudan or Somalia or Palestine or any other people living through war really expect from the UN or the global system? For decades, just statements and statements. And even everything happening in Gaza remains without a way out. Even now, Syria, after all the changes, still has to appeal to the world to ease the sanctions that are choking its economy. It has to ask and wait. Syria deserves stronger support from the international community. And as Russia's war against my country goes on, people are still dying every week. Yet there is no ceasefire because Russia refuses. Russia abducted thousands of Ukrainian children, and we have brought some of them back. And I thank everyone who's helped. But how long will it take to bring all of them home? Childhood slips away faster than adults are able to help. Look at Israel. Nearly 2 years have passed and hostages still haven't been freed. They must be freed, but even that still hasn't happened. And for years, there have been no real answers to other threats, either chemical weapons and famine used as a weapon. Last year, at this assembly, I warned the world about the risk of radiation disasters, especially due to Russia's occupations of our Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the biggest in Europe, but nothing's changed. Nothing's. And yesterday, the plant went into blackout again, and Russia hasn't stopped shelling even in areas near a nuclear facility. And because of international institutions are too weak, this madness continues. Even being part of a long-standing military alliance doesn't automatically mean you are safe. Just recently, 19 simple Russian drones violated Polish airspace, and only 4 were shut down. Luckily, they were not shaheeds or even worse. Otherwise, the results would have been horrific. Estonia had to call a UN Security Council meeting for the first time in history because Russian fighter jets deliberately entered its airspace. Moldova is defending itself again from Russia's interference. We are helping Moldova, and Russia's trying to do to Moldova what Iran once did to Lebanon. And the global response, again, not enough. We have already lost Georgia in Europe. Human rights and the European nature of the state system are only shrinking there. Georgia is dependent on Russia. And for many, many years, Belarus has also been moving toward dependence on Russia. Europe cannot afford to lose Moldova too. It's important to remember how the world once ignored the need to help Georgia after Russia's attack.
How can you sit there as a country who has
missed
kidnapped children?
with Belarus.
you sit
Moldova
there?
must not be lost. And for Europe, supporting Moldova's stability is not costly, but failing to do so will come at a much higher price.
People are really
That's why the
evil.
EU needs to help Moldova now with funding and energy support, not just wars or political gestures. We must not forget about protecting the rights of people and the rights of nations in regions where these rights are under threat. The UN Charter and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights must apply everywhere. But the Taliban in Afghanistan dragged a whole country back into the dark ages. Cartels in some Latin America countries are more powerful than the government there. This is all about collapse of international law and the weakness of the international institutions. And so it's about the rise of weapons. Weapons decide who survives. Excellencies, yesterday President Trump stood right here in this hall, and God saved him from a murder attempt during the campaign. A shot was fired from a rifle, and just a fraction of an inch saved his life. Just days ago,
well, we haven't seen
President,
the medical
along
records.
with hundreds of thousands of Americans, honored the memory of Charlie Kirk. Sadly, his life was cut short by a bullet. Once again, violence with a rifle in hand. We also mourn the Ukrainian woman, Irina Zarutska. She was brutally killed with a knife here in America, the very country where she was seeking refuge from Russia's war. And almost every day when we open the news, we see headlines about violent attacks happening all around the world. Most of it is done with weapons. People are already used to, but weapons are evolving faster than our ability
I think the ICC is eventually going to get to Trump. I just do.
There are tens of thousands of people who
Venezuela.
know how to professionally kill using drones. Stopping that kind of attack is harder than stopping any gun, knife, or bomb. This is what Russia has brought with its war. It used to be that only the strongest countries could use drones because they were expensive and complex. Now even simple drones can fly thousands of kilometers. War tech doesn't care about geography anymore. It's now reshaping it. Just recently, airports in Europe had to shut down because of drones. Authorities couldn't even say what kind of drones they were, who sent them, or from where. Last week, North Korea announced the test of a tactical strike drone. That means even countries with limited resources can now build weapons that are dangerous to their neighbors. Ukraine and nations like Saudi Arabia know
we watched a little bit of
that
coverage, but I couldn't take it.
But what happens when all the types of drones become available, even to small terrorist groups or cartels? The world
I wish
moves
everyone would stop shooting
too slowly
everyone.
to protect itself, and weapons move fast. Now companies are already working on drones that can shoot down other drones, and it's only a matter of time. Not much before drones are fighting drones, attacking critical infrastructure, and targeting people all by themselves, fully autonomous, and no human involved.
We just need Clay and Tina.
Except the few who control AI systems. Dear leaders, we are now living through the most destructive arms race in human history, because this time includes artificial
I just keep dreaming.
intelligence. And if there are no real security guarantees except friends and weapons, and if the world can't respond even to old threats, and if there is no strong platform for international security,
3 detainees were shot. Thank you. We didn't get that detail.
That's
I have no idea.
Safe for people.
Jesus
We need
Christ.
global rules now for how AI can be used in weapons, and this is just as urgent as preventing the spread of nuclear weapons. We need to restore international cooperation, real working cooperation for peace and for security. A few years from now might already be too late. 10 years ago, war looked different, and no one imagined that cheap drones could create dead zones, areas stretching for dozens of kilometers where nothing moves, no vehicles, no life. People used to imagine that only after a nuclear strike. Now it's drone reality. Mass-produced, simple drones, and without AI yet. Ukraine doesn't have the big fat missiles dictators love to show off in parades, but we do have drones that can fly up to 2,000-3,000 kilometers. We had no choice but to build them to protect our right to life.
I mean,
control over the sea used to depend on having a big navy. Ukraine doesn't have a big fleet, but we succeeded. In the Black Sea, we pushed what's left of the Russian navy into remote base. And we did it with sea drones. That's how we protect our ports and maritime trade routes, because Russia has left us
that is fucking brilliant. I mean, just
choice.
Strategically.
And our Spiderweb operation, when cheap drones destroyed or damaged dozens of expensive Russian strategic bombers, became a real example for special forces around the world of what new weapons can do to old systems. These very Russian bombers attacked our cities. And none of this would have happened if Putin had not started this full-scale aggression, full-scale war. And every year that this war goes on, weapons become even more deadly. And only Russia deserves to be blamed for this. Dear leaders, to protect lives, Ukraine builds underground schools and underground hospitals. To protect lives, we have to spend more on protecting power stations from drone and missile attacks than on building sports facilities or cultural infrastructure. Ukrainian farmers are learning how to protect their equipment from Russia's FPV drone strikes, and for them, that challenge is far greater than climate change. Russia's war has put us in this situation, but do you have protection against similar threats? The facts are simple. Stopping this war now, and with it, the global arms race, is cheaper than building underground kindergartens or massive bunkers for critical infrastructure later. Stopping Putin now is cheaper than trying to protect every port and every ship from terrorists with sea drones. Stopping Russia now is cheaper than wondering who will be the first to create a simple drone carrying a nuclear warhead. So we must use everything we have together to force the aggressor to stop.
Yeah, what's
and only then
holding people back from that? That's frightening.
That this arms race will not end in catastrophe for all of us. If it takes weapons to do it,
I don't think the world understands what we're facing right now.
Russia, then it must be done. And it must be done now. Otherwise, Putin will keep driving the war forward wider and deeper. And we told you before, Ukraine is only the first, and now Russian drones are already flying across Europe, and Russian operations are already spreading across countries, and Putin wants to continue this war by expanding it, and no one can feel safe right now. So first, we are now building a new security architecture for ourselves. More than 30 countries are already part of our coalition, and we are strengthening our army, launching joint weapons production with partners, and defining financial commitments for defense in a way that could become a security model for any other nation. If security guarantees work for Ukraine, something more than just friends and weapons, it will mean that people were able to make national security not a privilege for a few nations, but a right for everyone. Second, we are ready to make our modern weapons become your modern security, your modern weapon. And we have decided to open up arms exports. And these are powerful systems tested in a real war when every international institution failed. And we are also ready to grow our defense production together with strong partners so that their protection is modern and reliable. You don't need to start this race from scratch. We're ready to share what has already proven itself in real defense. And third, many in the world are still relaxed. Still. But look at how many countries are here at this General Assembly, countries that are at war, or just came out of war, or are trying to stop one, or openly getting ready for one. War has already reached too many people to pretend it has nothing to do with you. So it depends on you. Whether you help peace or continue trading with Russia and helping Russia to fund this war, it depends on you. Whether prisoners of war will be freed, whether abducted children will come home, whether hostages will be free, it depends on you. What will define existence? War like now, or our joint strong actions as it should be? Yesterday we had a good meeting with President Trump, and I also spoke with many other strong leaders, and together we can change a lot. Of course, we are doing everything to make sure Europe truly helps. And of course, we count on the United States. I appreciate the support we are receiving. Yes, much depends on the G7 and G20, but in the end, peace depends on all of us, on the United Nations. So don't stay silent while Russia keeps dragging this war on. Please speak out and condemn it. Please join us in defending life and international law and order. People are waiting for action. Thank you so much. Slava Ukraini.
Slava Ukraini. Come on, show the Russians. Show the Russians. Show the Russians. Show the Russians.
Au nom de l'Assemblée générale. On behalf of the General Assembly, I wish to thank the
President
of Ukraine.
Wait, I want to see who the United States people were. I know Tammy Faye Rumsfeld was in there. Hold on.
Au nom de l'Assemblée générale.
All right, so that's Tammy Faye Rumsfeld. I don't know who this cunt is. I don't know who this dick is. I don't know. Wait, which one is that? Which guy is this? I don't know what his name is either. I don't know who this dick is. I don't know who that dick is. This is the group of clowns that are representing the United States. So, oh my God. Who are you? Who are you? Sarah Huckabee wannabe. Oh my God. I'm so disgusted. I'm so disgusted by humans. Let me see who's next.
The General Assembly, which immunity for the gravest crimes in the International Court of Justice remains international justice specific robust international law.
God, you are fast.
Large and 80 years ago, Albert II, Sovereign Prince of Monaco.
Oh, Monaco.
A request protocol to escort.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not going to listen to Prince Albert of Monaco. I'm going to stop with that one. The UN said it's F team. Yeah, F troop. That's what Tammy should be in charge of. I don't know. I think they just hid her away in New York, which is fine. Good morning, Peace Love. How are you? The US and its F team, yeah. Yes, good morning. Oh my goodness. Well, this is good. Maybe we can catch up on our reading since we don't have to listen to any more speeches. Or we could listen to more speeches, but I think they're going to say similar things. Yeah, you know, it was interesting the last couple days just being out on Hollywood Boulevard. It's really clear to me that you know, while I feel wonderful about the people that I was hanging out with and really, you know, made some great connections and now am you know, I don't know, it was just I met some really nice people, which is great. It was really clear to me that this country is not awake to what's happening. Maybe he has a new plan for Middle East peace. Yeah, you never know. Which again, I don't know what to call that region other than Middle East. So I really would love for anyone who has like the accurate description of non-colonial language around the Middle East. I would love to hear that. I don't know if it's Arab nations or if that's the right terminology, etc. So anyone who has advice on that, I would appreciate. To that end, no, I don't think Prince Albert doesn't even have his father in a can. Oh wait, he might actually. Now that I think about it, he might have his father in a can. Sorry, Prince Albert. I can't help it if that was the joke made about not your dad. I guess that was another Prince Albert. But anyway, he just got out of the can. That's a better joke, Neil. That's a better one. No, that's actually a better joke. But it's clear to me after being out and about the last couple days, that people just are taking. I don't know. Well, I mean, okay, I'm making a little bit of an assumption here, so I apologize because maybe that's unfair. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's what it is. No, it's not Victoria's hubby. It's the actual Prince Albert from Monaco. Not the old one. Maybe the joke was about. I think it was. Oh, sorry, Pepper. You're right. I know what you're saying now. Forgive me. Yes, it was about it. It was about Prince Albert used to be a tobacco, I think, and it came in a little can, and I think that's where the joke comes from. I hate to age myself, but I think that's where the joke comes from. But but it's kind of clear to me that people aren't. There just is not the same level of concern about our rights being, you know, taken away. I don't know. I guess I'm just surprised. I guess I'm just surprised that people can be so unknowledgeable or unaware. You know, a few people I spoke with were like completely unaware of what, and not in a way that's like, oh, tell me more. It's more like, what? You know, like that kind of thing. And, you know, which is fine. I don't care. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, but I just I don't know, maybe it's like watching this as much as we do. Maybe I'm just too close to it, but I feel like there's a lot of red lines that have been crossed. I mean, that's the best term I can use for it is I don't know. I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised at how many people are kind of like none of this is you know, none of this is normal. Kids used to have to call the tobacconist and ask, "Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You should let him out." I know. That was the joke. Yes, I don't mind at all, please. I would welcome a non-US viewpoint, Neil, please. Please tell me. Share your viewpoint. I should open up the Zoom so you guys can come up and talk. I don't think I can do that. I think the Discord has a delay. That's the only problem with the Discord voice. But no, I would love to hear that. I just let me pull up some maybe we can finally read the stories that I've been wanting to read to you. I'm sure there's new ones now. Frustrating. I was sad to hear we shouldn't be finding common ground to reach the other side. Are you talking about, what are you talking about, Jay? I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not entirely sure I know what you're talking about. You know, I think there's a lot of angry people, and I understand that. I understand people are really angry, and maybe I misunderstood that part. I really liked your speech. Oh, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, this woman did kind of react. I think she mistook what I was saying about, like, you know, she took what I was saying, I think, as I have MAGA brothers and sisters or something. I think we can't unite. We can't unite. I do understand the sentiment of what she was saying, because it's really hard for people who have been, subjugated and generational trauma and other things. I can see where you don't want to unify with MAGA. I don't really want to unify with MAGA. I'm not going to unify unless they come correct on their rights around, or their human view, or their views on human rights. Right? That's not. I'm not going to compromise. And I was not clear on that in my little speech. I think Jay's talking about the speech that I made, that I clipped, and that the AP caught, and I put that up as a clip. And then the woman that came after me seemed like, well, because I was saying the one thing we should be able to unite on is protecting free speech. That free speech is important to both Democrats, Republicans, MAGA, non-MAGA, like whatever. That's what I was trying to say, but I don't think I said it very well either. So I understand that maybe she thought I was being a little too conciliatory, and she wanted to, speak on that. And that's fine. That's what the beauty of free speech. And to that point, I'm not saying that uniting with someone is giving in on the core issues, which are human rights and civil rights. I'm not willing to do that. What I was trying to say, I know she was super hot, and I understand, and I get it, and I don't begrudge her any of that emotion. I hope I'm clear that it's not around a negotiation or a compromise on the core issues of human rights and civil rights. My point was that if there's one issue that perhaps both sides understand, it is the importance of free speech. That's what my point was. And I could have probably said it better, but it is what it is. So there you go. And that's all right. That's what makes this country great. And I learn every day about more, because I also come from a different place, come from a place of like white privilege and stuff like that. So I welcome the opportunity to understand and use language that is more like reflective of what to do. Point of view. Too many Americans are in a state of denial. This can never happen here. We're on the path toward authoritarianism is now entrenched in the U.S. It's not on the way. I agree. I 110,000% agree with that. I agree that that people are not thinking that this is going to impact their lives. And it already is impacting their lives, but in a direct way. Like my family isn't going to be targeted by ICE. My family, none of the women in my family or birthing people in my family need to access health care that might be now outlawed by Republican regimes. So I understand that. I think that I really wish people would kind of wake up. Wake up. So I don't know. It's it's just here we are. I just really hope we reach out to each other instead of retracting. And I of anyone you've seen am not really great at getting along with MAGA, so I'm constantly working on that. But I'm not interested in giving grace when it comes to hate. If you hate people, a group of people, for merely for who they are and how they exist. I'm not talking about, how one might hate MAGA. I don't hate the people as individuals. I don't hate the people as individuals, but I really hate what they stand for, and I don't understand it. That's my problem. But I also know that we all have to coexist. And my desire is that people come around to be like either silent in their bigotry, like they push it down again, right? They push it down. Or they actually change their perspective. And they do see that it is better to love everyone and allow them to live their lives without your interference or the government's, and live and let live, right? Like that to me is what I would love to see that. But we're not even close to there yet. So I understand. I totally do. I give her all the props and credit because I do agree with her that there's not unity when it comes to how people are treated in this country and the risk to human rights and to civil rights. Right? So I appreciate everyone. I appreciate their perspectives. I don't know. So that's how I felt about it. I felt a little embarrassed actually as she was speaking because I thought, oh, I didn't say what I was going to say very well because I put her like I made her think that I'm like trying to look for some kind of, da 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 da. But anyway, that's okay. That happens. I spoke with that group actually who had that big orange sign, and she has other stuff that she's doing, and I'm going to be putting that online for that group. And they have a big event happening November 5th in DC. That's what they're really pushing. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna. We had a really nice conversation as I was leaving. We were all leaving actually. So yeah, I'm gonna help that group. So yeah, we're all there. I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm always willing to admit if I don't like say things perfectly. I don't always. That's for sure. And so I don't know. I'm being a human. I'm going to just continue to be a human over and over and over again. It is hard to get along with people of such different morality. Yeah, see, that's the problem. I can't really have like friends who are MAGA, right? I don't have friends who are MAGA because I just don't, I can't get along with people who think that LGBTQ people are evil, right? Or they don't want them around their children, or they don't want to see them in public, or whatever it is that their little fucking weirdo thing is. Yeah, November 5th, they're doing a huge march in Washington to shut down the government. They want to shut down the government. They want to make some shit happen, and I say crack on. And November 5th being the 1-year anniversary of the Trump whatever. Like, I don't know. I would like to think most Americans aren't unreachable, bigoted. I agree, but it's easy to look at people that voted for one and say that makes them just as bad as Trump. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard for me to understand that thinking because I'm not exposed to that. You're actually, and Jay Rance, you live in an area where you're far more exposed to people who might vote that way. And I think that happens. Oh, it's a Guy Fawkes Day? Oh, well, then that makes sense. So it's all kinds of stuff. Good morning, Nymph. Yeah, it's all kinds of stuff. I don't think you're naive at all. I don't believe that. I believe that there's a third of this country that is really happy to have a bigoted, gotcha president because they have their own self-loathing, right? So I think there's a third of the people in this country that have enough self-loathing that they will vote for an autocrat who matches their bigoted view of the world, right? So I believe that there's probably a solid 25% of the people here, or the voting public, if you will, that are solidly in that bigoted camp. I don't believe everyone is. But I think by this time you should have kind of tapped into where you fall, right? Like, I would hope you would tap into where do I fall in that spectrum of, lefty or someone who really is like down with ICE raids. Like I think there's ways to now kind of test yourself in terms of how MAGA am I, I think that's great. I don't know. I think we're just all doing the best we can, and I'm just going to try to do the best I can. And if I say something wrong, I'm going to try and say it better next time. You know what I mean? Or apologize if I need to in the moment. Obviously, I didn't need to apologize there. So, anyway. I bet also that I'm white female down here probably wouldn't even say that if I were any other. Right, exactly. Guy Fawkes was just a good Catholic boy trying to keep warm in a dank London cellar. Checking my privilege. Yeah, I mean that's it, Jay. That's what we do, right? We reflect on what's my perspective. My perspective is coming from a white, middle class perspective. So I have to always say, okay, well, mine is not the only perspective, so I should be thinking about other people's perspectives. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm cool with it. But yeah, I could tell she was like, you didn't say the right thing. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. I know. I'll try to say the right thing next time. I'll be more clear. So yeah, I don't know. But it just really did dawn on me, to your point, Neil, that people don't really, I don't think they really think it's going to impact them in a negative way. That's what I think. I think that in a TV-based society or a voyeur viewing, whatever, I think that people don't think it's going to happen to them. And it, I mean, happen to them is different things, right? Like, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't like tone policing because, frankly, gatekeeping and shit like that, like, I don't deal with that. But that's why I don't like, it's not going to kill me that someone says, or criticizes whatever I say. I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, what I learned from that. All right. And I'm going to move on. So that's fine. Big sale on Trump white privilege cards on Temu, only $14.88 with free shipping. Get yours now. Get yours now. Oh my God. I don't know. What a world. What a world. What a fucking world. Oh, I love you. I love you so much, Jay. I miss you guys. I feel like I know I haven't really been like, in the mix, but I'm getting there. I think I'm also dealing. Tomorrow is when Bobo leaves, and we have a lot of anxiety right now in our little household around that trip. So bear with me for about 48 hours, and then she's gonna be gone for 5 months. And it makes me sad. But I'm so happy for her. I'm really sad. I'm really scared. Like going to a country that isn't the most friendly to LGBTQ. Not that I think she needs to worry about that, because of like the, yes, let's go. Oh, let's go, Lee. I'm ready. But yeah, she will be fine. Oh my God. And she's traveled alone. I mean, she spent some time when she was in college, she spent some time in the Czech Republic for school on her own. So I think she'll be fine. I think she'll be fine. But, mommy's worry. Mommy's always worry. I'm going to miss her. But I'm so happy for her. This is going to be a great opportunity, a great time, and she just loves travel, so she'll be fine. I'll be the one who'll be like, wah, 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 wah. I know, I love that. I love being out there. I know. Well, I'm not going to say until I don't know if I'm going to say when she's there or not. I guess it doesn't really matter. Does it matter where she's going? Nobody's going to go there, I don't think. I'm not sure. All right, I'll talk to her about it. I guess it is her news. So I'll talk to her about it, see how she feels. But nonetheless, we're excited. Oh, thanks, Lee. I appreciate it. I tried. We should all go. Let's crowdfund all of us going. How about that? Let's all of us go. Don't tell people when you're going to be alone. Oops. Okay. Dang it. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I never do anything like that, right? Oh well. Anyways. Oh man. My. All right, I'm gonna pull up the what is that? Dun, 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 dun. Ooh. Don't. Oh, this is what I wanted. Okay. All right. Okay. Are you gonna let me read that? Okay. If you say the city, it's not like that gives away the location unless it's a teeny tiny town. In that case, the closest city, I'm in Orlando. Come get me. Well, she's going to be in Hungary. That's where she's going to be. She's going to be in Hungary. Yeah. So, yeah. I guess it's fine to say the country. It doesn't really matter. It's not like there's a lot of people over there. And it's not like anyone is really going to worry about what she's doing. So, but yeah, it's just far away. It's far away from your mommy. But she is going to have a great time. And it's supposed to be beautiful. So I'm excited for her. She loves that stuff. She loves like exploring and museums and all that kind of stuff. An informative report. January 21st, 2025. There's a term for Trump's political style, authoritarian populism. Ooh. Interesting. I like that. Wait, oops. Oh, perfect. Thank you. I was wondering how I was going to get there. Okay. Oh, and Maloney. Oh, this is interesting. UC Berkeley. What the hell? What the hell? All right, let me pull that up. And then I have a few more articles to read to you from things I intended to read to you. She will have a great time. Hope she's not too busy doing. She will be busy. They do 12-hour days. This is actually, I don't know. I mean, she doesn't work on the weekends. So the weekends, I think, will be for exploring. But during the week, it's going to be 12-hour days. That's the way it is. OPSEC. I know I'm terrible at that. Azerbaijan. Yeah, she's going to Azerbaijan. Oh, and by the way, I've gotten 2 videos removed from Bullets and Butt Plugs account, who keeps harassing me and keeps putting up defamatory statements about me. And I am going to, if it continues, it's going to get more serious. But right now, he's got 2 strikes on his channel, and I'm watching for a third. So strap in, babe, because you picked the wrong troll. Stop harassing me. Stop defaming me. Stop mentioning my name. Stop clipping my shit. Stop replaying me on Rumble. Stop. Because now you're making me feel threatened, and I'm going to take action against you. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of men terrorizing women. And I am feeling terrorized by this motherfucking Bullets and Butt Plugs guy. And I'm going to do something about it. So strap in. All right. Anyway. My God. I really hate men. Can I tell you that? I have been so mistreated my entire motherfucking life. And I'm sick to death of it because I don't deserve it. All right. But anyway, there's a term for Trump's political style, authoritarian populism. This is UC Berkeley News. Thank you, Gal, for sharing this. Researchers at UC Berkeley's Othering and Belonging Institute identify defining traits of the type of politics leaders like Donald Trump and Giorgia Meloni employ. That's interesting. You don't hear much about like Meloni. Like it's almost like people can't decide what to make of her in some ways because they treat her like she's, European ally, and then they say, oh, she's a Putin puppet, kind of thing. Berkeley's resident war criminal also had a critical op-ed. Which war criminal is that? Which war criminal? I do have a trick front doorknob. It only opens one way. I like that, Mr. Spock. I think that's good. Oh God. I saw that. I didn't read it, but I saw that. God, and why are people quoting him with any, don't even, fuck. Why do they even bother talking to him? Ugh. All right. January 21st, 2025. An Austrian electoral victory by a party with Nazi roots. The anti-terrorist prosecution of an Indian writer for decade-old criticisms of the Hindu nationalist governing party, MAGA. Reading global political headlines over the past decade, Miriam Juan Torres Gonzalez and her colleagues at UC Berkeley's Othering and Belonging Institute saw a pattern. Around the world, politicians were fear-mongering, scapegoating marginalized groups for a host of societal problems and chipping away at democratic norms like persecuting journalists in the process. Internally, researchers at OBI's Democracy and Belonging Forum began trying to label this phenomenon so they could understand how such leaders operate and eventually figure out how to prevent their consolidation of power. The pattern coalesced into a hybrid style of politics that they termed authoritarian populism. It didn't fit neatly into pre-existing academic boxes. Authoritarian practices were occurring in mostly democratic states, for example, so Juan Torres set to outline the strategies and motivations common among this increasingly popular breed of world leaders who use populist rhetoric while stoking nativism and aggrandizing their own power. I feel like that's not old, but of course these people go to... Thank you! Thank you, Mr. Spock. It's time. Yeah, torture memo, yeah. It is 4:20 somewhere. Thank you, Mr. Spock. You're so smart. Jane! Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Jane. Going to the store, still listening. Okay, Jay, be safe. Takes one to know one. The resulting paper from OBI published in late 2024 helps define authoritarian populism so readers can see it at play on the global stage. It's important, Juan Torres said, because words and ideas have power. They can frame our understanding of what is and what ought to be done. Defining authoritarianism. In academic literature, Juan Torres said that pure authoritarianism often refers to a regime type. It describes the way leaders govern. Authoritarians consolidate power so that they, as the executive branch, have sweeping authority. They often suppress political opposition, spread disinformation, fuel political violence, and turn historically independent institutions into political actors that will help achieve their agenda. They typically use coercion to achieve these goals rather than by mustering popular support. Often authoritarians like Vladimir Putin justify their grip on power by fanning the flames of emotionally charged topics and scapegoating marginalized groups. Russia's discrimination against the LGBTQ+ community is an example. One difference between an authoritarian government and a fascist or totalitarian one, the paper explains, is that an authoritarian government doesn't require rabid citizen participation. A drastic example would be the Hitler Youth programs in Nazi Germany, and instead leaves room for some private life that is not controlled by the government. The problem with applying the authoritarian label willy-nilly today, Juan Torres said, is that authoritarian practices like torture or mass surveillance have long happened in states that are otherwise democratic, with relatively free and fair elections. That discrepancy added to the OBI's team's desire to find a new way of describing modern political trends. Populism, meanwhile, occurs when leaders rhetorically divide the population into two groups, the majority versus the elites. These leaders position themselves as the true representatives of the majority group. This anti-establishment us versus them struggle is at the center of the populist rhetoric, the researchers concluded. But most scholars agree that populism doesn't have a core belief. You find examples of populism in left and right-wing circles alike. On the left, Spain's Podemos party and U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders are examples, while right-leaning populists like Geert Wilders, the fiercely anti-Islam leader of the Netherlands' dominant Party for Freedom, rail against elites. When you combine the features of authoritarianism and populism, like mixing primary colors, you get a unique style of politics called authoritarian populism. Juan Torres described the authoritarian populist worldview almost as if it were binoculars. Through one lens, she said, there's the threat of an identity-based outgroup. Through the other, there's a deep-rooted struggle between the people and the elites. The sense of fear and antagonism these lenses promote leads people to accept authoritarian measures to protect themselves and their in-group. Taking these extreme measures that are anti-democratic is justified because of the enormity of the threat, she explained. The term authoritarian populism was first coined by theorist Stuart Hall in a 1979 paper describing Margaret Thatcher's fear-mongering about crime and aggressive law enforcement policies. OBI researchers said modern authoritarian populist leaders are focused on nativism, preferential treatment towards, quote, native inhabitants of an area over immigrants, and opposing pluralism, working toward a more cookie-cutter society instead of a multicultural one. Unlike pure authoritarians like Putin, who maintain close ties with elites and seek to maintain a status quo, authoritarian populists often decry elites and blame them for citizens' problems. Behind closed doors, however, they're known to maintain ties with elites. Juan Torres pointed out that the recent linkage between tech leaders and MAGA politicians shows how quickly this facade of being anti-elite can lift. Or never was to begin. Well, okay. I get it. Leaders who typify authoritarian populism, according to the OBI paper, include U.S. President Trump, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, French presidential candidate Marine Le Pen, former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. Strategies. Juan Torres also outlined some key strategies she sees in authoritarian populist actions. One frames the world as a struggle between two groups characterized in a simplistic way. There'd be the virtuous in-group and the outright evil out-group. This out-group would then be scapegoated for societal problems. Is that happening? Yes, it is. Like pure authoritarians, authoritarian populists also stoke moral panic, she said, using the excuse of a perceived existential threat to justify draconian measures. One might spot this tendency in the Trump campaign's attack on transgender rights, which depicted a small number of trans athletes as a fundamental threat to societal norms around gender, and, instead of leaving space for various types of gender identity and expression, proposed strict government regulation of trans people's participation in these and other aspects of public life. And I also want to go over something that just happened in, I believe, Iowa. I'll try to remind myself of that because I'd like to go over that. I think authoritarian populists, this is a quote from Juan Torres, I think authoritarian populists have been really good at providing a lens through which to interpret social and political reality at a time of a lot of uncertainty. While authoritarian populists are likely to push the bounds of democratic norms, they also try to preserve at least the appearance of representing the majority of citizens, she said. This might be achieved by contesting elections, stop the steal, energizing diehard supporters to vote, or enacting policies that will ultimately disenfranchise people they see as hostile to their cause, for instance, through strict voter ID laws enacted in the wake of the 2020 American election. Juan Torres pointed to Italy's recent criminalization of NGOs that rescue migrants in the Mediterranean as a clear example of authoritarian populism. Another instance comes from the Meloni administration. In 2023, Italy stopped the mayor of Milan from issuing birth certificates that listed two mothers, an administrative move that discriminated against LGBTQ couples. This year, her Brothers of Italy party successfully pushed a ban on international surrogacy, another choice that draws from the authoritarian populist playbook of further marginalizing a societal outgroup. No, is authoritarian populism tied to one party or another? Not exactly. While this style of politics is predominantly found in movements that self-describe as right-wing or alt-right, said Juan Torres, they don't always map neatly onto a simple right or left spectrum. The Dutch Party for Freedom, for example, includes LGBTQ+ citizens, often marginalized by right-wing politicians, as part of the in-group that must be guarded against the perceived threat of Islam. And the anti-migrant party BSW in Germany, which supports expanded social welfare, splintered from the far-left group Die Linke. The ideological slipperiness of these movements also comes from the fact that they are notably adaptable, Juan Torres explained. Her paper found significant ideological flexibility both over time and within movements themselves. Having ever-evolving central principles can help authoritarian populists build big coalitions. By understanding how this political style works, Juan Torres said she hopes citizens can learn how to counteract it. I think authoritarian populists, certainty. She said, they recognize the issues people are facing and give them an explanation and a group to blame. That's a really good point. Other political groups should consider how they can provide a counter-narrative. The big question, she said, is how do we provide a space for grievance and loss, but that is also positive about what we can build? Interesting. I like that. Thank you, Cal. I appreciate that very much. Fundamental religiosity is the big danger. Boy, I agree with that. I think it is an interesting article because I don't actually know all the ins and outs. And it kind of lost me on this one. Wait, let me see this one spot where I kind of got lost. Pushed a ban on, no, maybe it wasn't. I can't remember. But anyway, that's an interesting, I'm going to have to read up more on this. Because I have the same thing. The article refers to authoritarian populism instead of just populist pepper. Article gives Sanders as an example of a left populist. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I get it. I don't know. There's a larger study report. Yes, exactly. It leads to the larger study. I'm actually really interested in reading the paper and seeing more nuance. That's really good. Thank you for sharing that, Gal. I'm really glad you did that. Shoulder. PDF. Oh, thank you. There's a link to the paper. There is a link to the paper. Thank you, Gal. I just don't understand all of the different, populism. I don't know. I have to read more. Helpful to be able to define. Yeah, really helpful. And helpful to see how they're evolving. And especially from people who are watching them, like the people at OBI, obviously, watching that. I would be interested in learning more about their work, too. That would be really cool. The people will really appreciate. Oh, that's really great. The people will really dig appreciating the study. I will read that. The other piece I wanted to read that came up in the time that we've been trying to get our reading time together is this Esquire article. Wait, how exactly did ICE manage to lose more than 1,000 alligator Alcatraz detainees? It appears that the agency is just as incompetent as it is cruel. Shocker. All right. So this is from Esquire by Charles Pierce, who's a great writer. Well, mercy me, the well-oiled machine of the Stephen Miller Roundup seems to have slipped another gear. From the Miami Herald. As of the end of August, the whereabouts of 2/3 of more than 1,800 men detained at Alligator Alcatraz during the month of July could not be determined by the Miami Herald. The Herald had obtained names from two detainee rosters, Around 800 detainees showed no record on ICE's online database. More than 450 listed no location and only instructed the user to call ICE for details. A vague notation that attorneys said could mean that a detainee is still being processed in the middle of a transfer between two sites or about to be deported. I'm just seeing which leader is coming up. Oh, I don't think I have access to the Miami Herald article, though. Unfortunately, I think there's a paywall. How in the world does Donald complain about other countries' hostages when we have plenty of our own? Oh, wait. Well, who's our hostages? Or were you thinking of popularism? I might have been. I think that's why I've got to learn the terminology a lot more. Excuse me? They had these people isolated in a prison camp in the middle of the damn Everglades, and somehow they managed to lose them in transit to God knows where. These people simply don't care enough to run a policy that isn't cruel and stupid. Being cruel and competent is beyond them. Being benign and stupid is beyond them. Their only talent is being cruel and stupid. Looks like, again, from the Miami Herald, some alligator Alcatraz detainees who couldn't be located in the ICE database might have been deported, even though the internal data obtained by the Herald shows that the vast majority of detainees didn't have final orders of removal from a judge before entering the facility. This is unbelievable to me. Some of those deportations occurred as a result of detainees deciding to abandon their ongoing immigration cases to put an end to their detention at the facility and its harsh conditions, which included being held in chain link cages in tents with little protection from the elements. Quote, it became a game of chicken to see who's going to blink first, to see if the client's going to say, I don't want to be detained in these conditions, so just send me back, said Miami immigration attorney Alex Soleimani. Heads they win, tails they're lost. Oh, wait, that's it? Oh, sorry. I thought this was much more than I was. Okay, well, never mind. Well, never fucking mind. And then I had this one. Oh my God. Head's sweating. Let me take a minute. Bum, 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 bum. Wait, was there a report about a cyber attack geared toward NYC UN that was stopped? Oh, I thought there was. Hold on. Hold on to. Got to hold on. Let me go to Reuters and see what's going on today. Move this over here. Brendan, you're gonna have to wait a minute. We're busy. We gotta check the headlines, Brendan. Oh, and let me say something before I start in this. Let me say something too about I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel. Actually. I just don't watch. I don't watch any TV. But I did see his monologue last night on YouTube for his show. And I mean, I don't begrudge him. I don't begrudge him like his whatever he wants to say about Charlie Kirk or whatever he wants to say about anything. I mean, that's his deal, not mine. But I was disappointed. Because one of the things I noticed when I was out there on Hollywood Boulevard, I met people that had organized this well before I had gotten there, right? I'm not an organizer, never have been, never will be. But the people who, put their stuff on the line for Jimmy and were out there since on the street making noise since it began. I think he should have acknowledged those people. Not me. I really, seriously, I don't give a shit. I really don't. I was only there for a few hours at the end of the day. But people like the woman I met, Jessica, and other people gave up a lot to make sure that they were there from the jump and did a lot of work to get the word out. And I think his monologue didn't it was weird. His monologue was weird. How about that? I thought his monologue was very weird. And I don't know. It just didn't it didn't give me any more reason to like him than I didn't have before, because I don't like him. Sorry. I know I'll never work in this industry, but whatever. Yeah, I think he should. I don't know. It just was disappointing to me the way that people who really stood up for him, like those protesters, were treated. Sorry. He should have acknowledged that people were really trying to help him get his show back. And it was kind of rude. So anyway, that's how I feel about that. Yeah, he got choked up well. Yeah, he did. Bobo said, "Is that acting? Is he making a joke about it?" Well, I don't know. Whatever. But you know what? Hey, money, money, money. It's so funny. All right, let's see. Here's the headlines. Oh my God, I really hate this little give feedback because it's always in the fucking way. All right, at least one killed, others wounded in the shooting at Dallas ICE office. We're going through headlines right now. So this is shooter died of self-inflicted gunshot wound. ICE officers unharmed. Unclear if victims were detainees or law enforcement. Oh. Shooter possibly fired from a nearby rooftop. Oh. A shooter killed at least one person and wounded others in a shooting on Wednesday at an Immigration and Customs Enforcement field office in Dallas before dying of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police responded to reports of the shooting at the office in Northwest Dallas at about 6:40 a.m. local time, the Dallas Police Department said. The subject opened fire on the office from an adjacent building. According to the preliminary investigation, police said 2 people were transported to a hospital with gunshot wounds while a third person died on the scene. Oh, fuck, man. ICE officers were not injured, but it was not clear whether the victims included ICE detainees, local security, or local law enforcement, DHS spokeswoman Tricia McLaughlin said. Jesus Christ. Investigators are looking at the possibility the shot came from a rooftop of a nearby apartment building. Those details are still murky. It looks like it might have been a sniper of some sort or a long-form shot. She also said the shooting took place at an ICE field office, not a detention facility, where ICE officers conduct short-term processing of recently arrested detainees. Incident comes after 2 weeks after the shooting death of Charlie Kirk. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, yep. Trying to make Antifa a thing. You know, the best way to make Antifa a thing is to say it shouldn't be a thing. So now it's going to be a thing. Good job, everybody. The Trump administration's aggressive use of ICE agents as part of its crackdown on undocumented immigrants has sparked outcries from Democrats and liberal activists. What about Republicans? Literally? Nobody? Everybody agrees with this. Really? 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 All right, I'm not going to. Yeah, okay. They're going over all the old stories. All right. Let's see what else is in here. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, there's a big typhoon hitting China and Taiwan. Really dangerous. Trump's immigration curbs make Indian students rethink the American dream. Thailand. Big sinkhole. Oh my God, we gotta watch the sinkhole. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my God. Come on now. Come on now. What? Okay. Well, sorry about the ad, but I want to see this sinkhole. I want to see this sinkhole. Okay, come on, come on. All right. I'll give you feedback. Update on the Dallas shooting. I think maybe it was Gal with an update earlier as well. All 3 shot were detainees. They were? Wow. Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, it's just music. Look at that sinkhole. Oh my God. That's so scary. That's really frightening. I feel like you can't trust anything. There goes my truck. I'd be like, can I just get my truck out of there? Wow, that's really frightening. I hope no one was hurt. Massive sinkhole. Massive sinkholes. France's town hall is told to remove Palestinian flags flown to Macron's recognition. Well, people are weird. Zelensky warns UN it has become weak. Well, that's a good point. It was in Thailand. Wait, where is it? Thailand, in the capital. God, it's terrible. Whoa. What now? I didn't hear this. Did you guys hear this? I didn't hear this. Trump's hole. There's a big Trump hole in Thailand. Oh my God. It's swallowing up everything. Trump in rhetorical shift says Ukraine can retake all its land. Oh my God. Dump said on Tuesday he believed Ukraine could retake all its land occupied by Russia and that Kyiv should act now with Moscow facing big economic problems in a sudden and striking rhetorical shift in Ukraine's favor. But there was no sign that Trump's words would be matched by a change in U.S. policy. Such as a decision to impose the heavy new sanctions on Moscow sought by Ukrainian president. Blah, 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 blah. Wow. Okay. So he just said it. Didn't that psychic lady say the Mars-Pluto square would be over Thailand? No, I don't know. Did she? Oh, be careful. Like, climate change and the impact on infrastructure is really frightening. I mean, remember Florida a few years ago? That's really scary. That's really scary. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. This island helped preserve U.S. dominance. Okay, I guess there's nothing. What was I supposed to be checking? Now I don't even remember what I was supposed to be checking. Damn it. All right, let's go back to this asshole, Brendan Carr. Not long ago, they sought to give more power to the FCC. This is an opinion piece from the Wall Street Journal. So it was yesterday and today. Did you see when he thought Russian? I know. I heard that too. Russian planes should be shot down. Like NATO should shoot them down. And then also, I mean, this is a good point. I'm just going to say it. It is kind of a good point that European nations buy natural gas from Russia. And you know what I mean? Like, they are helping Russia fund their war. So that is a little weird. Now, does Europe have like, I guess they have alternatives to buy gas from someone else, right? Like us right? Like, I don't understand all of the reasons behind why Europe would buy Russian whatever energy. Does anyone have the 411 on why Europe does that? I mean, is it just price? Because it does seem a little strange. If you're going to be trying to get a country who's an aggressor to stop aggressing, why would you buy exports from them? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sound like dumb, but I get the point. But I got the point a while ago. Maybe it took dump a minute, but anyway. All right, Brendan Carr, Democrats. This is, again, opinion. Not long ago, they sought to give more power. Oh, wait, is this a stupid one? Oh, no, this is not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Oh, man. But you know what the thing was is... Oh, fuck it. I hate Wall Street Journal. I'm not going to do it anyway. Fuck it. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Fuck it. We're not reading about Brendan Carr. Don't like that guy's opinion. Yeah, no. Hopefully the rapture finishes up by the end of today. Yeah, hopefully everybody's on their plane, right, on their way to meet their maker by the end of today. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm really wiped out after the last few days, so I apologize. And my shoulder is killing me right now, so I'm trying to like smile through the pain. All right, let me go ahead and read this one to you. Anti-Islamic. This is part of the stuff I pulled around the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Remember them? Yeah, they still exist. But from the BBC from earlier this month, anti-Islamic U.S. biker gang members run security at deadly Gaza aid sites. Yep, I said that right. I said, you heard me right. You heard me right. I know, for a march. Yeah, I don't think I could have handled that. Anti-Islamic U.S. biker gang. Anti-Islamic U.S. biker gang runs security. What? What? I didn't even know this. The firm guarding sites where aid is distributed in Gaza has been using members of a U.S. biker gang with a history of hostility to Islam to run its armed security, a BBC investigation has found. I couldn't fucking believe this when I saw it. BBC News has confirmed the identities of 10 members of the Infidels Motorcycle Club working in Gaza for UG Solutions, a private contractor providing security at Gaza Humanitarian Foundation sites where hundreds of civilians seeking food have been killed in scenes of chaos and gunfire. We can reveal that 7 members of the gang are in senior positions overseeing the sites at the controversial aid operation backed by Israel and U.S. President Trump. UG Solutions, UGS, defended its employees' qualifications for the job, saying it does not screen people out for personal hobbies or affiliations unrelated to job performance. Okay. An early report of this was why I recommended Gimme Shelter a week ago. Oh, yes, that's right. I remember that. No, I remember. That's actually the documentary. We should watch that, Gimme Shelter. I wonder if we should do documentary night tonight. Are you guys up for a documentary night tonight? If you're not, I understand completely. I missed my window, but... Hi, Teresa. You're fine. Don't worry. You are fine. Okay. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation said it has a zero tolerance policy for any hateful, discriminatory biases or conduct. Or, does it sound good? Okay. Hopefully. I need to go to bed. I'm probably going to wrap after this article. I'm going to be honest with you. I am wiped out. I am absolutely wiped out. The Infidels Motorcycle Club was set up by U.S. military veterans of the Iraq War in 2006, and members see themselves as modern crusaders, using the Crusader cross as their symbol, a reference to the medieval Christians who fought Muslims for control of Jerusalem. The gang is currently hosting an anti-Muslim hate speech on its Facebook page and has previously held a pig roast in defiance of the Islamic holy month of Ramadan. Putting the Infidels Biker Club in charge of delivering humanitarian aid in Gaza is like putting the KKK in charge of delivering humanitarian aid in the Sudan. It makes no sense whatsoever, said Edward Ahmed Mitchell, Deputy Director of the Council on American Islamic Relations, a leading Muslim civil rights organization in the U.S. It's bound to lead to violence, and that's exactly what we've seen happen in Gaza. The gang's leader, Johnny Taz Mulford, is a former sergeant in the U.S. Army who was punished for conspiracy to commit bribery, theft, and making false statements to military authorities. From May to August, he was a country team leader running UG Solutions contract in Gaza. Johnny Mulford. I want to look him up. We emailed Infidels MC for comment. In response, Mr. Mulford instructed fellow leaders of the biker gang not to reply, but included the BBC when he clicked reply all. I love it when they're embarrassed by their lack of technical skills. When he clicked reply all, inadvertently disclosing email address and names of fellow Infidels MC members, some of whom were working in Gaza. Right. Bye, Filosa. Hi, friend. By matching up names with public information about Infidels MC leadership and evidence from UG Solutions insiders who worked with them, we have identified 10 members of Infidels MC whom Mr. Mulford recruited to work with him in Gaza. In addition to Mr. Mulford, we have identified 3 leading members of Infidels MC who have also have senior roles at UGS's Gaza operation. Oh, we're going after a bird. Larry J. Rod Jarrett, who has been publicly named as the Infidel MC vice president and is in charge of logistics. The gang's national treasurer, Bill St. Seaby, who leads the security team for one of GHF's 4 safe distribution sites. One of the gang's founding members, Richard A. Tracker Lofton, a team leader at another distribution site. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Chudley. Oh, God, they're just so fucking gross. God, you guys are fucking pathetic. Ugh. Confidential documents, open source information, and former UGS contractors have enabled us to confirm the identities of a further 6 infidels bikers hired to work in Gaza. 3 of them are leaders or deputy leaders of the firm's armed security teams. Mr. Jarrett, Mr. Seaby, and Mr. Lofton didn't respond. UGS told the BBC it conducts comprehensive background checks and only deploys vetted individuals. However, news reports indicate Mr. Jarrett was arrested 2 years ago in the U.S. for drunk driving and has a previous charge of driving under the influence from about a decade earlier. It is not known whether either case resulted in a conviction. The founder and chief executive of UG Solutions, Jameson Gavoni, was arrested earlier this year in North Carolina for his alleged involvement in a hit-and-run incident and fleeing from police to evade arrest, according to court documents. What? Mr. Gavoni, who is based in the U.S. and is not a member of the Infidels MC, declined to comment. Until now, Mr. Mulford was the only UG Solutions contractor to have been identified as a member of the Infidels. The BBC's investigation reveals how widespread his hiring of members of the biker gang has been, notably to better paid jobs leading the UGS armed security teams. Social media posts show that in May, just 2 weeks before traveling to Gaza, Mr. Mulford sought to recruit U.S. military veterans who follow him on Facebook, inviting anyone who, quote, can still shoot, move, and communicate to apply. Here we go, May 16th. Here's your big chance to put your money where your mouth is, just passing the word from blank. If you have combat arms, MOS, can still shoot, move, and communicate, this will be tested. Can leave within the next 12 hours, text me. Oh my God. Humanity is really disgusting. Oh my God. It must be the Jerusalem cross that somehow causes a journalist on the email signal. I don't know. Jerusalem cross, also known as the OPSEC cross. The OPSEC cross. Oh my God. In total, at least 40 of about 320 people hired to work for UG Solutions in Gaza were recruited from Infidels MC, according to an estimate by a former contractor. UG Solutions is paying each contractor $980 per day, including expenses, rising to $1,580 per day for team leaders at GHF's safe distribution sites, documents seen by... Okay, I want to see these documents because I really want to see the financials of this fucking GHF. Do we have any financials on them yet? One leader of a team in Gaza overseeing site security, Josh Miller, posted a photo of a group of contractors in Gaza with a banner reading, "Make Gaza Great Again." FOB Mar-a-Lago. What's that? I wonder what's this like. Oh, I guess that's something. I don't know what ONTHEX is. Onthex. I don't know what that is. Wow. The banner advertises here we go. The banner advertises the logo of a company he owns, which sells T-shirts and other clothing, including one that has the slogan "Embrace Violence," and another which says "Surf all day, rockets all night, Gaza summer 2025 or 25." This company also posted a video online showing scenes of gun violence and advocating the shooting of criminals with the caption, "Remember, always shoot until they're no longer a threat." Mr. Miller has the word crusader tattooed across his fingers and 1095 on his thumbs. This is the year when the leader of the Catholic Church, Pope Urban II, launched the first crusade attacking Muslims as a vile race. Mr. Miller did not respond. A post on the Infidels MC Facebook page selling 1095 hats says it signifies the start of the Crusades, a military campaign by Western European forces to recapture Jerusalem and the Holy Land from Muslim control. The Holy Land refers to the area mostly covered by modern-day Israel and Palestinian territories. Wow. Johnny Mulford, who in addition to leading the gang is listed as the registered agent of a Florida company called Infidels MC, has the date 1095 tattooed across his chest. He has a Crusader cross tattooed on his right forearm and another on his left upper arm, along with the word infidels. When you see anti-Muslim bigots today celebrating 1095, celebrating the Crusades, they are celebrating the wholesale massacre of Muslims, the erasure of Muslims and Jews from the holy city of Jerusalem, said Mr. Mitchell from the U.S. Muslim civil rights organization CARE. He said the gang had the hallmarks of anti-Muslim hate groups, which for decades have used the name infidels. Oh my God. Roid rage. Much? All these old dudes that like, oh God. Anti-Islamic views expressed by the gang include a flyer for the pig roast during Ramadan, which the BBC found on an archived web page. It says, quote, "In defiance of the Islamic holiday of Ramadan, we invite you to attend the Infidels MC Colorado Springs chapter, open bike party, and pig roast." The flyer also shows a woman wearing a burqa that has been torn off from the neck down, exposing her chest. The Infidels MC Facebook page has hosted clearly Islamophobic discussions. In 2020, the club shared a link to a false satirical article claiming 4 U.S. Democratic politicians, 2 of them Muslim, wanted the Bible to be deemed hate speech. Comments from the Facebook group included, "Filling my magazine to the max would not be the first time we were at odds with Muslims. Deport these pathetic skanks to a pathetic third world crap hole where they won't be offended by the Holy Bible," and a comment dismissing them and their Muhammad with an expletive. As of Wednesday, this is earlier this month, the comments remain on the Facebook page. I see. This is the pig roast thing. The Infidels website also used to show the skull logo of the violent Marvel comic book character Punisher, a symbol appropriated by white supremacist groups inscribed with kafir in Arabic script, which translates as unbeliever or infidel. The scenes of chaos and danger have been common at the aid distribution sites in Gaza since they opened at the end of May. Up to the 2nd of September, 1,135 children, women, and men were killed near GHF sites while seeking food, according to the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. The UN has said most of the killings appear to have been carried out by Israeli security forces. Incidents where civilians were harmed while seeking aid are, quote, under review by the competent authorities in the IDF, the Israeli military said. Okay. You're investigating yourself. Okay, I got it. Those aren't motorcycles. Those are Hondas. Give me a fucking break. UGS has denied all allegations that its security contractors also fired on civilians and that it put people seeking food in danger due to incompetent leadership. However, the company has admitted that warning shots have been used to disperse crowds. Oh my God. In a statement, UG Solutions, based in North Carolina, said Johnny Mulford is a, quote, trusted and respected figure with more than 30 years' experience supporting the U.S. and its allies globally. We stand by his reputation, record, and contributions to the success of complex missions, this company said. We do not screen for personal hobbies or affiliations unrelated to job performance or security standards. Every team member undergoes a comprehensive background check, and only qualified vetted individuals are deployed on UG Solutions operations. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation said it relies on people from all backgrounds to provide aid in Gaza and build trust with Gazans. Oh my God, this is so gross. Yes, Grace Lisa, thank you. We are devolving. The team providing aid at the foundation sites is diverse, and it's successful for that reason. Well, it's not successful, okay? Oh, here we go. Under the update from the 12th of September, GHF contacted the BBC after publication of this article to inform us that Johnny Taz Mulford has not been involved with the organization since August. UGS says that Mr. Mulford is still with it, but has left Gaza. Oh, okay. All right. There we go. Anyway. Oh my gosh. Let me catch up with chat. What's FOB Mar-a-Lago? What's FOB? What does FOB mean? I don't. Yeah. Are we not men? Yeah. Forward operating base. Okay, thank you. Thank you. God. Don't forget all the pogroms all the way across Europe. Yeah. Yeah. 1095 is also the IRS form you get about your work insurance. Yeah. Oh, that's what they meant. That's what they meant. Oh my God. All right. Well, this is a less than stellar show for me, but I'm just in a lot of pain right now. My shoulder's really killing me. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap today and try and come back strong tomorrow. But I'm definitely up for playing Gimme Shelter tonight on Discord. I think I need to make sure we get our documentary in this week. Okay, we have to get our documentary in this week. We can't miss a week. I already missed the movie on Saturday. I can't miss Tuesday, or I can't miss the documentary too. So if you're up for it tonight, I'm happy. I would love to play Gimme Shelter, which is a great documentary. And has to do with the infidels, or it has to do with the motorcycle gang. This evening, that would be great. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so I'm gonna shoot for 5. Well, I'm not gonna shoot. I'm gonna schedule it at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Everything inside and out. I'll put up all this. I'll put up all the little notations. Thanks. Oh, Teresa, thanks. I really appreciate Bobo helps me do these things, and I really appreciate it. I couldn't really do it without her, so I'm really grateful. But yeah, it's so fun to be out there. I'm going to be honest with you. It makes me feel really good just to be talking about this stuff and being out there. So that feels really good. I don't know how helpful it is. I know, Val, it's okay, babe. I got to come up there. I got to come up in the Northwest. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Bobo out in the world, and me on my own. Is helpful. Alarm set for EST. Excellent. Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead. People see you and wonder if they are cowards. That's good. I like that. Are you heading south soon? Okay, well, let's keep in touch. You have my number. I have your number. Keep in touch, okay? Let me know what's happening. But, yeah. No, it's so much fun. It's so engaged. It's so energizing. It feels good to just be with other people too, who feel the same way. Like that's such a great feeling. So anyway, it's all good. And, I am, wait. I am going to be, going to this. We'll have to figure out the movie this Saturday too, because I don't know what to do. Oh, maybe I could do. Well, anyway, we'll figure out the movie on Saturday. But I really want to go to this Saturday. Unfortunately, it's at the same time as our movie, which is kind of silly. But it's the Tesla Diner here in West Hollywood. Apparently, every Saturday. Yeah, every Saturday and Sunday. Oh, you know what? I could go Sunday. Maybe I'll do Sunday. But they boycott the Tesla diner here in West Hollywood every Saturday and Sunday. So this woman gave me this flyer. So I was thinking I might do that. And then I'm just now I am gratefully I have enough like contacts with people that were from the Kimmel stuff and from the Disney stuff. They're from SAG, they're from the Screen Actors Guild. That's what most of the organizers are from. And yeah, so it was really nice to connect with them. I have people's phone numbers now, and we can, let each other know when we're going place. So it's really cool. So yeah, I feel like I'm making some good, solid connections with people who are out in the street and who are actual activists. So I can support and just be another body, in the way, I guess. Anyway, yeah, I will. I know Bobo's awesome. She's I'm gonna miss her so much, but I'm so happy she's going. So it'll be okay. All right. Well, I will. I know, right? It isn't. It's actually a really artistic. I mean, it's such an art, and it's like nice thick paper too. No, they knew what they were doing. Boy, those Soros kids, they're really good. I know. Bye bye, Bobo. Bye bye, Bobo. Bye bye, Bobo. Yeah, she probably won't be much on streams because of the time difference. Oh, that's it's okay. Anyway, I just feel very whiny today. I'm sorry. I hope I wasn't too whiny today. I feel like I whined all morning. I apologize. I didn't want to do that. 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 Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for being so wonderful and supportive. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate it. I think it's really great. I really appreciate it. We got like how many views did we get yesterday? Let me just show you. Clicks, views, clicks and views, clicks and views, clicks and news, clicks and views, clicks and views. What do we get? Let's see. I didn't even look. Oh, that's not where I see. Oh, wait. No, we got 5,600 views on yesterday's. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Prince Albert of Monaco forgives me. I'm sorry. I didn't want to hear from him. Who cares? What does he know? God, he grew up with Grace Kelly. What does he know? He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what's really happening out there. Anyway, we got 5,600 views on yesterday's. The big one was on Saturday. Was it Saturday? No. Wait, what? No, Monday? Wait, what? Maybe it was Saturday. I don't even know what day that was. Okay, anyway, we've gotten a lot. We got like 17,000 views on one video. I can't remember which one. That was the second one. I don't know. I give up. I can't even tell what happened when. An appropriate amount of wine for someone our age. Yeah, that's it. I'm whining based on... It's true. It's true, Karen. Oh, my back. Oh, my shoulder. Oh, my goodness. Like I feel like one of those people, and I'm sorry about that. I don't want to be that way. I'm just going to smoke. It was Saturday. Oh, my God. I totally don't even know what day it is. But I 100%, the AP stream. The AP stream has 72,000 views. Hell to the yeah. I know Bobo was like, "You're right in the middle of the AP shot." I'm like, "Yeah. More dinos." You know what that does? That makes more people get in dino suits. That's what I'm convincing myself of. I'm convincing myself that anytime people see dinos, they're like, "I'm going to get a dino suit." In these troubles, a little whine. I know, but I don't want to be that person. But this is why I'm feeling whiny today because I'm like in pain. So I'll deal with it. Isn't there something else called a Prince Albert? Well, I mean, we were just talking about tobacco, Jim. Prince Albert in a can. We were making that old joke. A penis piercing. Oh, is that what that is? Oh my Lord. Whoa, I don't know where that came from. Holy moly. Wow. Ouch. I mean, I guess so, but ouch. I don't know. Gimme Shelter is not the feature film. It's going to be the documentary. Gimme Shelter tonight at 5 p.m. It's a documentary. It's about Altamont. Right? It's Altamont, right? I think that's. And actually, fun fact, my brother and my sister were both at that concert, but didn't know each other were at that concert. How about that? How about that for trivia? How about that for movie trivia? The feature film looks like crap. What are you talking about? Oh, that. No. I see what you're saying. The one called Gimme Shelter. Yeah, no. I think Jim did know that already. I think he was just being cheeky. Cheeky Jim. Well, so thank you so much for coming to my little wine fest, my little wine and cheese festival. I will see you tonight on Discord, hopefully. And if not, maybe. The Gimme Shelter Hollywood movie looks like dung. I know what you mean. Dung. I haven't even thought about that word in such a long time. I knew a guy with that piercing. That sounds like a limerick. Karen's writing limericks. I knew a guy with that piercing and a tattoo down his weenie. Karen. I used to hang out in Provincetown. Provincetown's so much fun. I know a guy with that piercing and a tattoo down his weenie of something referring to the Highlander. Doesn't the Highlander have like a big sword? I haven't watched that. Should we watch the Highlander movie this Saturday? Oh my God, should we watch Highlander? I actually do want to watch the one we were going to watch last week. Weapons. I want to watch Highlander too, though. Maybe we could do that another night. Maybe we could do Highlander. Well, I don't know. I don't want to keep you guys. I hate to keep you guys up so late. My ex got a lawsuit where a guy had a pussy tatted on his PD. What? No. There can only be one or something like that, I guess. Wendy, what's a Wendy? You hung out with pain pigs? What? Wait, what? Wait, what? What happened? Oh, pain pigs. Is that what they call them when they pierce their pee-pee? Ow. Everything's making it sound like hurtful. Forget what his tat was. Well, but I wonder if it didn't Highlander have like a sword or something? Wasn't that his thing? Maybe. Does people in Prince Albert SK get Prince Albert? I don't know, Neil. That's it. That's a good question. Why the fuck are we bailing out Argentina? Who's going to bail us out? Oh, wait, Millier. Is he speaking at the UN today too, right? But when? Shit. Oh man, hold on. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Because okay, I don't have anything recent. I was looking to see what I had on Millier. But it wasn't recent. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm oh my god. Let me see. Hold on. Oh my God. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, please don't block this story. God bless fucking America. Oh, I'm so tired of this. Hold on. Please hold on, puppy. Please. Hold on 1 second. Oh man, I can't get that. Oh damn. Okay, well the headline. Okay. Besant promises to rescue Argentina. Okay. We need to talk about this. Oh my God, my dog is really barking. Okay. We need to talk about Argentina. I did see something out of the corner of my eye. And now I'm like, okay, what is going on? Because if you recall, we talked about Milei and the Libra coin. Okay, if you recall, about a year ago, maybe even more. Oh my God. Okay, I've got to walk my dog. We're going to be talking about Argentina tomorrow. Okay, that's it. Because there shouldn't be anything happening with the UN. I don't know. But we should be able to get through some articles tomorrow. So I will definitely pick up on this Argentina thing. Maybe our Nazis are planning to escape to Argentina. Well, it's just interesting to me that we had this whole kerfuffle with Hayden Davis and the Libra coin and Milei and Hayden Davis and the Trumps and their meme coins. So to me, there's too much Trump connection to Argentina when it comes to financial crimes. And so what I'm wondering is, what does Milei know about Trump crimes that makes him so important to rescue? That's the question I leave you with. No, I think it could be. No, I think it's much more base than that. I think it's because they yeah, it does. I think it has something to do with this whole financial issue. Financial mismanagement, crimes, criming. I know you were joking. I know you might have been joking, Alex. But you're probably right. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure I'm going to definitely get outside today. In fact, I'm going to go out right now and take my dog out. But yeah, so there, I think it has something. I mean, it doesn't have anything necessarily, but I'm saying there is a problem then, because there's probably some dirty connections between Milei and the Trumps financially. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Thank you for being so lovely and patient with me too. I'm sorry, I'm in a little bit of a mood today. I'm sure I'll get out of it and everything will be fine. And eventually I'm going to get my medicine and my pain will go away and that'll be wonderful. So we're getting there. We're closer than we were a couple days ago. Saw my rheumatologist on Monday, so we're good. All right, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really adore you guys. Thanks for all the support. I really appreciate it. All right, I will see you hopefully tonight. If not, hopefully see you tomorrow morning and hopefully. Okay. I love you. Have a great one.